Welcome to another episode of Don't Waste the Chaos. I'm your host, Kerri Roberts. And today, if we did sound effects with our messages, it would be a sad trombone because today's topic stems from bullying, layoffs, drama, inconsistency, stagnation, lack of innovation, poor leadership, loss of funding, and the list goes on and on. We're talking low morale in your employee population. Employee morale plays a significant role in the success and sustainability of small to mid-sized businesses. However, many businesses in this category struggle with low morale among their workforces. Today, we're exploring the reasons behind low morale, and we'll talk actionable strategies to address these issues and create a more positive and productive work environment. So in general, what are the reasons behind low employee morale? I know I rattled off a list earlier of factors, but let's get more specific. The first is lack of recognition and appreciation. Many businesses often overlook the importance of recognizing and appreciating their employees' contributions. Without consistent acknowledgement of their hard work and achievements, employees may feel undervalued and demotivated. Not everyone likes recognition in a group, so this doesn't always have to be a big production, but it does need to be intentional. It would be a great question to ask your employees, how do you like receiving recognition? You could even do a quick survey monkey to find out. I also recommend the book, The 5 Languages of Appreciation in the Workplace by Gary Chapman and Paul White. I'll link that in the show notes. Everyone needs team building opportunities, and reading this book together as a group is a simple idea to learn more about one another. And you learn a ton as a leader on how they want to be appreciated. The second reason behind low employee morale can be limited growth opportunities. In smaller organizations specifically, advancement opportunities may be limited compared to larger corporations. But even in larger corporations, a lot of times you get niched and you have a harder time moving around. Employees who see little room for growth within the company may become disengaged and seek opportunities elsewhere. To combat this, offering increased responsibilities is important, along with unique growth opportunities. Giving them challenging work assignments is most important, especially tying it back to the mission or to the purpose of the organization. I ask my team members each week in their one-on-ones if they're happy with their workload, if they'd like more or less, and what other things they'd like to see as far as assignments in our organization, maybe that other people are working on, that I'm working on, or what they see in other organizations that they'd like to add to our team. By having these conversations with our employees, you're helping them drive the train a little bit, and then it makes it a little bit easier for you to determine what direction to go next as well. Next up, and of course, your host's favorite, this is poor communication. Communication breakdowns can lead to misunderstandings, confusion, and frustration among employees. In small businesses where communication channels may be less formalized, unclear expectations and lack of feedback can contribute to low morale. If you haven't listened to it yet, I highly recommend you go back and listen to my previous episode on manager and employee miscommunication. It's packed with tons of good information around how to avoid this issue. It's key. Another reason behind low employee morale is work-life imbalance. Small business owners and managers often wear multiple hats, leading to long hours and high stress levels. Employees may feel overworked and underappreciated, leading to burnout and dissatisfaction with their job. There can also be the opposite. Like coming from a corporate environment, I often struggle with handing off what I would consider little tasks as well as larger, deep thinking strategic tasks, because oftentimes in the corporate world, it was a little more clear on whose job what was. In a smaller company, it's a little more all hands on deck. And while I feel like I've done a good job at carving out roles, I'm a little all over the place at times myself, and my executive assistant knows it. She and I are currently working through all of the tasks on my plate, as well as all of the projects I'm sad that aren't getting done, so they can either be assigned to someone currently on the team, or I can add another person. I'm very mindful of not overtasking my folks, so I've got an opposite problem. It lands on me. Either way, whether you're giving it a ton to your people or keeping it to yourself, this causes low employee morale and it has to be addressed. Next is uncertainty and instability. Economic uncertainty, changes in leadership, or shifts in company direction can create a sense of instability among employees. Lack of clarity about the future of the business can erode trust and morale. We are getting ready to launch our guides on employee layoffs and reductions in force. I am seeing this done in such a messy way all over social media, and I know companies need help in this area. If you want a practical guide to help you navigate this, go to saltandlightadvisors.com/resources, and you'll find downloadables, courses, and other resources you can directly apply to your business today. Uncertainty and instability is inevitable in business. That said, with strategic communication and tons of forethought, this can be handled much better, so it's not yet another stressor to your people. Okay, we could keep going here, but let's turn that sad trombone into a little more of an upbeat jingle and talk strategies to improve employee morale. First, and in my opinion, the easiest, recognize and reward achievements. Implement a formal recognition program to acknowledge employees' contributions and milestones. Recognize both individual and team achievements publicly and provide tangible results and rewards such as bonuses, incentive pay, or time off. I just put together an incentive pay program with a client, and I love seeing how excited they were to share it with their folks. And while it takes a little more of a lift from the accounting person to ensure the data is properly tracked and paid out, it's worth it. You'll get more from your team, and their sense of ownership will increase, knowing you are sharing profits in this way with them. If you're not ready for that step, consider ordering lunch once a month. I'd recommend you make this a little more random feeling, not every Monday, so it doesn't become an expected treat or an entitlement. At another client, we implemented a monthly high five award given by the CEO, which was a $500 bonus each month to one employee in the company that went above and beyond. These programs are pretty easy to implement, and they are seriously a great feeling for an employee, especially if they're the one receiving it, if they're done with consistency and clarity. Next, you can invest in employee development. Provide opportunities for professional growth and development, such as training programs, skill building workshops, and mentorship opportunities. Encourage your employees to pursue further education or certifications that align with their career goals. And don't just encourage it, do a little research yourself on what you think would be a great idea and mention those trainings by name. I know you're busy, but so are your employees. They don't understand the money you may be willing to put behind it, or if you're open to them traveling out of state, or how much time they could spend doing this. So give them some bumper rails so this is actually doable and not just a great idea in theory. The next strategy to improve morale is to foster open communication. Create channels for open and transparent communication within the organization. Encourage feedback from employees and actively listen to their concerns and instructions and suggestions. Provide regular updates on company goals, performance, and changes that may impact employees, not the day of, in advance. Give them some time to think about it. Consider adding a leaderboard, either electronically or in person in the office. Have all company meetings. Ensure your employees hear from you, not just when something's going wrong, but when you're focused on the mission, vision, and values, and when you're sharing your why. You may think people get tired of seeing your face as the leader, but they don't. They are working for and with you, and they want to hear your thoughts. Next, you can promote work-life balance or integration or self-care or whatever TikTok is calling it these days. Prioritize emotional, physical, and mental balance by offering flexible work arrangements such as remote work options or flexible hours. And if you need help with the remote work stuff, you can reach out to me for a policy. I've also got a previous podcast episode where we talked about managing remote employees. Encourage employees to take breaks, use their vacation days, and disconnect from work outside of office hours. I've got a client implementing a new paid sabbatical leave program next week for employees who have been with the organization for 7 years. Get creative here. Make sure it works for you as the business owner and is something valuable to your employees. In my little company, at an employee's 1-year anniversary, I asked them to submit receipts to me for health subscriptions, gym memberships, healthy food meal plans, nutrition consulting, Aura rings, massages, whatever. And I'll do a reimbursement up to a certain amount to them. This shows I want them to prioritize their health, and I make sure to talk about this on how I'm doing it in my own life as well. Now, if you are wildly off balance as a leader, your people know it, and they feel like you don't care about their balance as well. Practice what you preach, friends. Okay, the final strategy for improving employee morale is providing stability and clarity. Being transparent about the company's vision, goals, and plans for the future is vital. Communicate any changes or developments that may affect employees early on and provide support during periods of uncertainty. Build trust by following through on commitments and maintaining consistency in leadership and in direction. Everywhere I've been, I've challenged leaders to share more top-line revenue data, more numbers, more goals. I loved getting to sit down with my team last week during our annual retreat. I shared top-line revenue from year one, as well as what percentage I'm spending on operating expenses as I continue to invest in my fairly new business. I also shared what my top-line revenue was for the first 4 months of this year, and then based on that data, modeled out the rest of the year, projecting and forecasting year-end results. But the fun part for me was I shared my year-end revenue goal and let them know if we hit that together as a team, we would have next year's team retreat at a resort in Florida, which I have no doubt that we will do. Low employee morale can have a significant impact on the performance, productivity, and retention of businesses. By addressing the underlying causes of low morale and implementing strategies to boost employee engagement and satisfaction, businesses can create a positive and supportive work environment where employees feel valued, motivated, and invested in the success of the company. To close, I'm going to share a list of 8 things that supervisors specifically can do with their teams to help boost employee morale, as they play a very crucial role in fostering a positive work environment and supporting their teams. Number 1, lead by example. Supervisors should demonstrate the behaviors and attitudes they want to see in their team members. By modeling professionalism, respect, and a positive attitude, supervisors can set the tone for the entire team. Number 2, communicate effectively. Clear and open communication is essential for building trust and fostering collaboration within a team. Supervisors should communicate regularly with their team members, providing updates on projects, goals, and expectations. They should also encourage two-way communication, listening to their team members' feedback, concerns, and suggestions. Number 3, provide support and guidance. Supervisors should be available to provide guidance, support, and mentorship to their team members. They should offer constructive feedback and coaching to help employees develop their skills and grow professionally. Supervisors should also be proactive in addressing any challenges or issues that arise, offering solutions and resources to help their team succeed. Now, I'll pause for a second. If you're listening to this and you're an owner or a senior leader and you're thinking, my supervisors are not equipped for this, you need to invest in your supervisors to make sure that they can actually deliver on this, because they are the ones with your employees day in and day out. Very important. I did a previous episode called Ineffective Leadership, with the cost of ineffective leadership. I'd recommend you go back and listen to that. And I give some ideas on how you can positively impact those supervisors or managers on your team that are maybe a little less effective. Okay, number 4, recognize and appreciate. We've talked about this. Supervisors should regularly recognize and appreciate their team members with contributions and achievements. Whether it's a simple thank you message, please, not just an email, write it down on a pretty card. Whether it's a public acknowledgement in a team meeting or tangible rewards such as bonuses or extra time off, showing appreciation can boost morale and motivation. Number 5, empower and delegate. Supervisors should empower their team members to take ownership of their work and make decisions independently. Delegating tasks and responsibilities helps employees feel trusted and valued, while also allowing them to develop new skills and grow professionally. Number 6, promoting that balance. Supervisors should encourage work-life balance by respecting their team members' time and boundaries. They should be mindful of workload distribution, avoiding overloaded employees with excessive work, and providing support when needed. Offering flexible work arrangements and accommodating personal needs can also help employees achieve a healthy balance between work and life. If they're a supervisor who sends emails after 5 p.m., remind them that Outlook or whatever system they're using can do delayed messages. So that way, because what happens is the supervisor sends the message and then the employee sees it on their phone and they feel like they need to respond to either show that they care or that they've got the answer. It creates all this anxiety if they don't respond, and they're nervous about it by the next day because we've all checked our messages. We need to model boundaries in this area as a supervisor. Number 7, create opportunities for growth. Supervisors should actively support their team members' professional development and career advancement. This can include providing opportunities for training, attending conferences, taking on challenging projects, or pursuing certifications like we talked about earlier. Supervisors should also discuss career goals and aspirations with their team members, offering guidance and support to help them achieve their objectives. Do you know what they want to be when they grow up? For goodness sake, I'm 41 and this continues to pivot in my mind. We need to talk to our employees about this. Let them dream a little bit and encourage them in this area. And last, number 8, build a positive team culture. Supervisors should foster a positive team culture characterized by trust, collaboration, and mutual respect. They should encourage teamwork and camaraderie among team members, celebrating successes and supporting each other during challenges. Creating opportunities for team building activities and social events can also strengthen bonds and morale within the team. And don't forget, your social events don't all have to be centered around alcohol. We've gotten kind of down that bad path. Everything becomes a happy hour. And remember, more and more people are saying no to alcohol these days. It's kind of becoming the new cigarette. And so make sure that your events have some mocktails in them if you're going to a place with tasty drinks. By implementing these actions, supervisors can create a supportive and empowering environment where team members feel valued, motivated, and engaged in their work. This not only improves morale and productivity, but also contributes to the overall success and effectiveness of the team. If your people are down, business slows down. It can feel like chaos to have to run the business and tend to the needs of your people. But who are you without your team? This work is worth it. So don't shy away from it. Thrive in it. Thanks for listening.